Today, I would like to welcome Jonathan Smythe from Smythe Designs to the first in our series of vodcasts. So today, I believe we are going to be talking about, well, we're entitling it From the Rough to the Smooth. And obviously, your business is called Smythe Design. So I have a feeling,
certainly is.
Yeah, there's going to be some synergy there. So thank you so much for joining us. And I'm very excited to hear all about it.
An absolute pleasure, Sam. Thanks for having me on. Yeah, smooth. It always gets a bit of a giggle when you say it, especially when you say smooth.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things because in business, I always think you really shouldn't take yourself too seriously. And with a surname like Smythe, and when I was at university and I was actually studying geology, all my mates used to say, "Oh, you've got a face for radio."
Nice friend.
And yeah, exactly. And it was almost like the voice. They said, "Oh, you've got a DJ's voice," and they started calling me Mr. Smooth. And so when I set up the company, I said, "Well, what am I going to call it?" And I said, "Well, it's got to be Smooth, hasn't it?"
Yeah.
And it's quite good because it gets you through one of those hardest doors. You know, when you call someone up and you get to the PA, the gatekeeper, and they ask you your name and they ask for the company, and if you just go smooth, it normally gets. But you're doing it now. Get a bit of a giggle.
Yeah.
But they remember you, and it's kind of quite disarming. And so that's how the name came about. But yeah, Mr. Smooth.
And obviously, I know a little bit about you and your background. So the Daily Mail was where you were previous to Smythe Designs.
Oh my God, yeah, that was so I first started out from the rough to the smooth. I was my first degree, was in geology, so that was all quite rough and ready and rugged and out climbing mountains with hammers and taking chunks of rock and bringing them home and looking at them under microscopes, that kind of stuff. And but when I graduated, I was going to go and work for De Beers in the diamond mines in South Africa.
Wow.
Well, yeah, but it just turned out at that time that the locals started killing miners. So De Beers decided to stop all recruitment. So I found myself at a bit of a loss. And so I was going to apply to do a master's degree. But at the same time, I'd always loved art and design. I always wanted to be do an art degree, but mother wouldn't let me. She said, "You'll never find your way as an artist or in that kind of thing." So I applied for a master's, and at the same time, I said to my mum, "Right, here's the deal. I will do this, and at the same time, I'm going to apply for jobs in publishing, media, advertising, that kind of stuff." And I said, whichever one comes up first, I will do. So I applied for a job in North London on the Holloway Road with a publishing house called Manor House Press. And I got accepted. And 2 days later, the acceptance for the masters came through. Mother had to let me go to North London and go and be a production assistant in this publishing house. And I was a copy chaser. Which basically meant for their publications, people would book advertising space.
Okay.
Which the studio would then produce for them, and they would go in these annuals and publications. And it was my job to ring these people up and say, "Where's your ad? Give us your artwork," or this, that, and the other. And eventually, I started going into the studio and helping make up these adverts. So I then got my. Oh, excuse me. There goes the phone. Bloody clients. And so I started getting my hands dirty, making up artwork for these clients and doing advertising. And we started doing these periodicals and publications for the Daily Mail. And we were doing one, and it was an absolute unmitigated disaster. And the publisher, I remember her very well. She was called Sally Cartwright, and she came over from Daily Mail and said, "What do you think?" I said, "Scrap it. It's dreadful. It's awful." So I just thought that's probably not the best thing to say to the woman at the Daily Mail who's running this thing. But I got a call 3 days later. He said, right, we're not scrapping this, but thanks for your honesty. Do you want a job? Oh, okay. So I then went and worked for the Daily Mail in their publications department. It was called Harmsworth Press down on Fleet Street. Well, it wasn't on, it was just off Fleet Street, a place called Carmelite Street, New Carmelite Street. And I was the first person on Fleet Street to use an Apple Macintosh.
Wow.
When it was just called an Apple Mac, and it wasn't even like Apple Mac 1 or 2, it was just the Apple Macintosh.
What year was that?
Oh, blimey. That would have been 1980. Oh, crikey. 1987, I think that was.
Okay.
And, oh my goodness. Yes. And I wasn't really the most popular person on Fleet Street, because this was at the time when everyone was like thinking about new technology. The Sun and the Times had moved out to Wapping, and there was great unrest with the unions. I would be spat on at work because I was using new tech, and I was seen as the death of print, etc., etc. I think we know a little bit better now with hindsight. Yeah. But I was shunned by the unions, and I basically sat there for about the first 4 months of my working life at the Daily Mail with nothing to do, because no one would give me work because they were all shunning this new tech. So I just sat there and played with an Apple Mac and learnt my trade.
Wow.
And dealing with software called Quark Express. The very first.
I've heard of Quark Express.
Yeah, I think we're up to about Quark 10 or 11. I love the word quark. It sounds like what a very posh duck says. But so I was actually testing this software for the Americans. So yeah, it was really cool. And like, I was in my early 20s. I had a flat in the East End of London in Bethnal Green. I was working on Fleet Street. I was being paid to do what I loved. Yeah, life was grand.
Was it as grand as it sounds?
It was fantastic. This is when, you know, a pint was
in the good old days.
Yes, in the days of yore, in the days of black and white, which we call
in the days when you used to go to work, and when you left work, you used to stop working.
That's it. Yep.
And that's when you go and enjoy your pint, and your pint probably costs less than £2, and you have no phone to check your emails on. So you just went out and enjoyed yourself. Now that's a work-life balance right there. We just didn't know it. We just didn't know how lucky we were. So going from a geology degree, did you ever think that you would end up at the Daily Mail at any point when you were doing geology? Was that ever in your mind?
Never. Didn't even cross my mind. I just thought I'd end up working on an oil rig or somewhere dusty, dry and hot, which is what most of the graduating geologists would do. They'd go and be what were known as mud loggers.
Okay.
And just check what came out of the ground to see whether there was any chance of getting oil. But the thought of, working for someone like the Daily Mail on Fleet Street was beyond me. But to see the demise of Fleet Street was quite extraordinary as well. And the fact that everyone was fleeing it, going to these bigger and better places, or supposedly bigger and better places. And I think it was I saw the end of an era, which was a shame. But at the same time, I saw the dawning of a new one, which was even better. So yeah, all good.
Great. And I feel like that is a good place to stop in preparation for our next vodcast, where we can hear about the birth of Smythe Designs.
Oh my goodness.
How that followed on from working in what everybody would have thought was the perfect job, in the perfect industry for the perfect employer almost, and then how that demise then, what that demise actually made you do at the end of it.
Have I really been waffling at you for 10 minutes already?
Yeah, that is your time.
You're kidding me. Oh
Well,
my
you've got a
goodness.
minute left, so I've cut you short. I'll give you a minute on the next one. But it was great to talk to you as
You
always.
too, Sam.
If you want to find out any more from Jonathan, if you want to speak to him more about how and why he set his own business or his time at the Daily Mail, or even if you want to talk to him about geology, you can find him on the directorschoice.com. If you go to the marketing area of the platform, you will find him there as one of our marketing experts. And we will be back next week with part 2 of From the Rough to the Smooth.
And we'll probably explain this young fella as well.
Yes, he's definitely
go.
going to be guest experience.
How to get remembered. Brilliant. Thanks a
How
lot,
to get
Sam.
remembered. Yeah, let's talk about that next time. Thank you so much, Jonathan.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Thanks very much.